Complete work of Swami Vivekananda, Volume 5, Section 1, Epistles, 75, Almora, 29th May 1897. Dear Dr. Shashi Bhushan Ghosh, Shashi Bhushan Ghosh, your letter and the 2 bottles containing the medicine were duly received. I have begun from last evening a trial of your medicine. Hope the combination will have a better effect than the one alone. I began to take lots of exercise on horseback, both evening and morning. Since that, I am very much better indeed. I was so much better the last week, the first week of the gymnastic, that I have scarcely felt so well since I was a boy and used to have kushti, that is wrestling, exercise. I really began to feel that it was a pleasure to have a body. Every movement made me conscious of strength. Every movement of muscle was pleasure. That inhalation and that exhilaration rating and that exhilarating feeling has subsided somewhat, yet I feel very strong. In a trial of strength, I could make both Gigi and Niranjan go down before me in a minute. In Darjeeling, I always felt that I was not the same man. Here I feel that I have no disease whatsoever, but there is one marked change. I never in my life could sleep as soon as I got into the bed. I must toss for at least 2 hours. Only from Madras to Darjeeling during the first month, I could sleep as soon as head touched the pillow. That ready disposal to sleep is gone and now entirely, and my old tossing habit and hot and feeling hot after the evening meal have come back. I do not feel any heat after the day meal. There being an orchid here, I began to take more fruits than usual as soon as I came. But the only fruit to be got here now is apricot. I am trying to get more varieties from Nainital. There has not been any thirst even through the days are fearfully hot. On the whole, my own feeling is one of the revival of the great strength and cheerfulness. A feeling of exuberant health. Only I'm afraid I'm getting fat on too much milk diet. Don't you listen to what Yogin writes. He is a hypochondriac, hypochondriac himself. Want to make everybody so. I ate 1/16 of the barfi, sweet meal in Lucknow, and that, according to Yogin, was what put me out of sort in Almora. Yogin is expected here in few days. I am going to take him in hand. By by the by, I am very susceptible to malarious influence. The first week's indisposition of Almora might have been caused to a certain extent by my passage to the Terry. Anyhow, I feel very strong now. You ought to see me. Doctor, when I sit meditating in front of a beautiful snow peaks and repeat from the Upanishad, Natasya rogo najara na mrityu. Natasya rogo najara na mrityu. Praptasya yogagnimayam shariram. Praptasya yogagnimayam shariram. He has never disease nor decay, nor death for virility. He has obtained the body full of fire of yoga. I am very glad to learn the success of meeting of Ramakrishna Mission at Calcutta. All blessings that attend those that helped in the great work. With all love, yours in the Lord, Vivekananda. 76. Almora, 1st June 1897. Dear Mr. Dash. Objection. The objection you show about the Vedas would be valid in the word if the word Vedas meant Samvita. The objection you show about the Vedas would be valid if the word Vedas meant Samvitas. The word Vedas includes the 3 parts of Samvita. three parts: Samhitas, Brahmanas, and Upanishad. According to the universally received opinion in India, the word Vedas includes the three parts: the Samhitas, the Brahmanas, the Upanishads. According to the universally received opinion in India, of this, the first two portions are being ceremonial parts, have been nearly put out of sight, and the Upanishads have alone been taken upon by all our philosophers and founders of sects. The idea that the Samhitas are the only Vedas in very recent is very recent and has been started by the late Swami Dayanand. This opinion has not got any hold of the Orthodox population. The reason of this opinion was that Swami Dayanand thought he could find a consistent theory of the whole based on the new interpretation of the Samhitas. But the difficulty remained the same. The only they fell back on the Brahmanas. And in spite of the theories of interpretation and interpolation, a good ideal still remains. Now, if it is possible to build a consistent religion on Samhitas, it is thousand times more sure that a very consistent and harmonious faith can be based upon the Upanishads. And moreover, here one has not to go against the already received national opinion. Here, all the acharyas, that is, teachers of the past, would side with you, and you have a vast scope for new progress. The Gita, no doubt, has already become the Bible of Hinduism, and it fully deceived or fully deserves to be so. The Gita, no doubt, has already become the Bible of Hinduism, and is fully deserved to be so. But the personality of Krishna has become a covered with haze that it is impossible today to draw any life giving inspiration from that life. Moreover, the present age requires new models of thought and new life. Hoping this will help you in thinking along this line. I am your with blessings, Vivekananda. 77. Almoda. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaय यस्य वर्णेन कृतिनो वयं च भुवनानि च रामकृष्णं सदा वन्दे सर्वं स्वतन्त्रम् ईश्वरम्. Almora, 3rd July 1897. Constant salutation be to Sri Ramakrishna, the free, the Ishwar, the Shiva form, by whose power we and the whole world is blessed. Mayest thou live long, a Sharat Chandra. Those writers of Shastras who do not tend towards work say that all powerful destiny prevails, but others who are workers consider the will of man as superior. Knowing that the quarrel between those who believe in the human will has the remover of misery, and others who rely on the destiny is due to indiscrimination, try to ascend the highest peak of knowledge. Knowing that the quarrels between those who believe in the human will has the remover of misery, and others who rely on destiny is due to discrimination, try to ascend the highest peak of knowledge. It has been said that adversity is the touchstone of the true knowledge, and this may be said 100 times with regard to the truth. Thou art that. This truly diagnosis of Vairagya, this passion, disease. Blessed is the life of one who has developed these symptoms. In spite of your dislike, I repeat the old saying: wait for a short time. You are tired with rowing, rest on your roads. The momentum will take the boat to the other side. This has been said in the Gita. In good time, having reached perfection in yoga, one realizes that in one's own heart and in the Upanishad, neither by the rituals nor by the progeny nor by the riches, but by renunciation alone, a few rare people attain immortality. That is Kaivalya. Here, by the word renunciation, Vairagya is referred to. It may be two, it may be of two kinds, with or without purpose. If the latter, none but worm-eaten brain will try for it. But if the other is referred to, then renunciation would mean the withdrawal of the mind from other things and concentrating it on God and Atma. The Lord of all cannot be any particular individual. He must be a sum total. One possessing Vairagya does not understand by Atman the individual ego, but all pervading Lord, residing as a self and internal ruler in all. He is perceivable by all as the sum total. This being so, as Jiva and Ishwar are in essence the same. Deserving the jivas and loving God must mean one and the same thing. Here is a peculiarity when you serve a jiva with the idea that he is a jiv. It is a daya or compassion and not prem, that is love. But when you serve him with the idea that he is the self, that is prem. That the Atma is the one objective of love and is known from Shruti, Smriti, and direct perception. Bhagwan Chaitanya was right. Therefore, when he said love is God and compassion is the Jeev, that is, when he said love is God and compassion is compassion to the Jeevs, this conclusion of Bhagwan intimating differentiation between Jiva and Ishwar was right as he was a dualist. But for us, Advaitists, this notion of Jiva has distinct form from God is the cause of bondage. Our principle, therefore, should be love, not compassion. The application of the word compassion, even to Jiva, seems to me to be a rash and vain. For us, it is not a pity. It is not to pity, but to serve. Ours is not the feeling of compassion, but of love, and feeling of self is all. For thy good, O Sharman, may thin be may thin be Vairagya. For thy good, O Sharman, may thin be Vairagya, the feeling of which is love, which unifies all inequalities. That is, the feeling of which is love, which unifies all inequalities and cures the disease of samsara, removes the threefold misery inevitable, removes the threefold misery inevitable in this phenomenal world, reveals the true nature of all things, destroy the darkness of Maya, and which brings out the selfhood of everything from Brahma to the blades of grass. This is the constant prayer of Vivekananda. Every bound to thy is love. 78. Almora, 9th July 1897. Dear sister, I am very sorry to read between the lines the desponding tone of your letter, and I understand the cause. Thank you for your warning. I understand your motive perfectly. I had engaged to go with Ajit Singh to England, but the doctors not allowing. It feels true. I shall be so happy to learn that Harit has met him. He will be only too glad to meet any of you. I had also a lot of cutting from different American papers fearfully criticizing my utterance about American women and furnishing me with the strange news that I had been outcasted, as if I had any caste to lose, been an sannyasi. Not only no caste has been lost, but it has considerably shattered the opposition to sea voyage by going to the west. If I should have to be outcasted, it would be with half the ruling princes of India and almost all of educated India. On the other hand, a leading Raja, the leading Raja of the caste to which I belonged before my entering the order, got up a banquet in my honor, at which very most of the big bucks of that caste. The sannyasins, on the other hand, may not dine with anyone in India, as it would be beneath the dignity of God to dine with the mere mortals. They are regarded as Narayanas, while the others are very mere men. And dear Mary, these feet have been washed and wiped and worshipped by the descendant of kings. And there has been a progress through the country which none ever commanded in India. It is sufficient to say that the police were necessary to keep orders if I ventured out into the street. That is the outcasting indeed. Of course, that took the starch out of the missionaries, and who are they here? Nobody's. We are in the blissful ignorance of their existence all the time. I had in a lecture said something about the missionaries and the origin of that species except the English church gentlemen, and it had connected that to refer to the very churchy women of America and their power of inventing scandals. This the missionaries are parodying as an attack on American women and masses to undo my work there, as they will, as they well know that anything said against themselves will rather please the US people. My dear Mary, my dear Mary, supposing I had said all sort of fearful things against the youngs, would that be a paying off of million part of what they say of our mothers and sisters? Neptune's water would be perfectly unless to wash off the hatred the Christians youngs of both sects bear to us, heathen of India, and be patient under the criticism and then criticize others. It is a well known psychological fact that those who are really ready to be abused others cannot bear the slightest touch of the criticism from others. Then again, what do I owe them, except your family, Mrs. Bull, the Mrs. Legates, and the few other kind peoples? Who else has been kind to me? Who come, who came forward to help me work out my idea? I had to work till I am at death's door and had to spend nearly the whole of the energy in America so that the Americans may learn to be broader and more spiritual. In England, I worked only 6 months. There was not a breath of scandal, save one, and that was the working of the American woman, which greatly received my English friends not only on the attack but and many of the best English church clangmen became my firm friends, and without asking I got much help for my work, and I'm sure to get much more. There is a society watching my work, getting help for it, and for respectable people and for respectable persons followed me to India to help my work, and dozens were ready. And next time I go, hundreds will be. Dear, dear Mary, do not be afraid for me. The world is big, very big. There must be some place for me even if the Yankees rage. Anyhow, I am quite satisfied with my work. I never planned anything. I have taken things as they came. Only one idea was burning in my brain to start the machine for elevating the Indian masses, and that I have succeeded in doing to a certain extent. It would have made your heart glad to see how my boys are working in the midst of famine and disease and misery, nursing the mad bed of the cholera stricken pariah, and feeding the starving Chandala. And the Lord sends help to me and starving Chandalas, and all of them. What are men? He is with me. The beloved, he was what I was in America, in England, when I was roaming about, unknowing from place to place. In India, what do I care about what they talk? The babies, they do not know anything. Who have realized the spirit and the vanity of all earthly nonsense to be served from my path by babies' prattle. Do I look like that? I had to take a lot more myself because I owed that to you. I feel my task be done. At most 3 or 4 years more of life are left. I have lost all wish. I have lost all wish for my salvation. I never wanted earthly enjoyments. I must see my machine is strong working order. And then knowing sure I that I have put in a lever for a good of humanity in India, at least which no power can drive back. Will sleep without caring what will be next, and may be born again and again and suffer thousands of miseries, so that I may worship the only God that exists, the only God I believe in, the sum total of all souls, and above all, my God, the wicked, all my God, the miserable, my God, the poor, of all races, of all species, in the special object of my worship. He who he who is in you is outside of you, who walks through every hand, who walks through every foot, whose body you are. Him worship, break all other idols. He who is the high and low, the saint and the sinner, the God and the worm. Him him worship, the visible, the knowable, the real, the omnipresent, break all other idols, in whom there is neither past life nor future birth, nor death, nor going or coming, in whom we always have been and always will be one. Him worship, break all other idols. Yeah. Fools neglecting the living God and his infinity, reflection with which the world is full, and running after imaginary shadows. Him worship the only visible and break all other idols. My time is short. I have got to unbreast whatever I have to say, without caring if it is smarts some or irritates others. Therefore, my dear Mary, do not be afraid at whatever drops from my lips. For the power behind me is not Vivekananda, but he is the Lord, and he knows best. If I have to please the world, that will be injuring the world. The voice of the majority is wrong, saying that they govern and make the sad state of the world. Every new thought must create opposition. In the civilized, a portile seer, in the vulgar savage, howls and filthy scandals. Even these earthworms must stand erect. Even children must be light. The Americans are drunken with few wine. The hundreds waves of prosperity, the hundred waves of prosperity have come and gone over my country. We have learned the lesson which no child can yet understand. It is vanity. This hideous world is Maya. Renounce and be happy. Give up the idea of sex and possession. There is no other bond. Marriage and sex and money are only living devils. All earthly love proceeds from body. No sex, no possession. Has this falls off, the eyes open to spiritual vision. The soul regains its own infinite power. How I wish I were in England to see Harriet. I have one wish left, to see you four sisters before I die, and that must happen. Yours ever afflicted Vivekananda. 79 Almora 28 July 1897. My dear mother, many many thanks for your beautiful and kind letter. I wish I were in London to be able to accept the invitation with the Raja of Khetri. I had a better I had a great many dinners to attend in London last year season, but it was fated not to be, and my health did not permit my going over with Raja. So Alberta is once more at home in America. I owe her a debt of gratitude for she did for me in Rome. How is Holly? To both of them my love and kiss the new baby for me, my young sister. I have been taking some rest in the Himalayas for 9 months. Now I am going down to the plains, to be harnessed once more for work, to Frankenstein, the Jojo, and Mabel, my love, and so to you entire, eternally. So to you, yours ever in the Lord, Vivekanand. 80. The Mutt Belur, 11th August 1897. Dear Joe, well, the work of mother will not suffer because it has been built and up to date, maintained upon truly sincerity and purity. Absolute sincerity has been its watchword. Yours with all love, Vivekanand. 81. Muri, 11th October 1897. My dear Jug Mohan Lal, leave words when you start from Bombay and somebody to take care of three sannyasins I am sending to Jaipur. Give them food and good lodging. They will be there till I come. They are fellows, innocent, non-learned. They belong to me and one of my Guru Bhai, brother disciple. If they like, take them to Khetri, where I will come soon. I am traveling now quietly. I will not even lecture much this year. I have no more faith in all this noise and humbugs, which brings no passions good or no practical good. I must make a silent attempt to start my institution in Calcutta. For that, I am going to visit different centers quietly to collect funds. Yours with blessings, Vivekanand.